Welcome to the Antelope Valley Union High School District Board of Trustees meeting. This board meeting is being recorded. Anyone wishing to observe the meeting may do so via AVUHSD's YouTube channel. Individuals may take photographs or record meetings provided the individual's conduct does not constitute a disruption, including obstructing the views of others. Those wishing to address items on the agenda and matters that are not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the AVUHSD board shall do so in person, complete a speaker form, and give it to the designee before the public comment portion of the meeting. The speaker form must be given to Ms. Orozco before the board president announces the item. Once the item has been called, we will no longer accept new cards. Ms. Orozco will call the individual's name to come up to the podium to provide their comments. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. A total time for public input on each item shall be limited to 20 minutes. Non-agendized items are limited to a total allotment of 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotment to another speaker. The district encourages members of the public to attend board meetings and to address the board concerning any item on the agenda or within the board's jurisdiction. The board does not prohibit public criticism of its policies, procedures, programs, services, acts, or omissions. Similarly, the board does not prohibit public criticism of district employees. Speakers are cautioned that no person is immune from liability for making intentionally false or defamatory comments simply because those comments are made at a public meeting. Attendees are also reminded of the board's civility policy, Policy 1313. This civility policy requires that members of the district staff will treat parents and other members of the public with respect and expect the same in return. The district is committed to maintaining disruption-free board meetings. The board will not permit any disturbance or willful interruption of its board meetings. Persistent disruption by an individual or group are grounds to terminate the privilege of addressing the board. Persistent disruption by an individual shall be grounds for the board president to terminate the individual's privilege to address the board. The district promotes mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district board members, district employees, parents, and the public. The district seeks public cooperation with this endeavor.
Okay, roll call. Ms. Corona.
Present.
Welcome to the Antelope Valley.
Mrs. McGrady.
Present.
Mr. Sanchez.
Present.
Mrs. Nguyen. All right, and I'm present as well, and Mr. Delgado is not with us today. Mr. Sanchez, can you lead us in the pledge, please?
Yes, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Sanchez.
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. President, before we begin, I'd like to request we pull item 7F from the agenda to be brought back as amended at a subsequent meeting.
So ordered, sir.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we're going to move into the PINCO. Public comments from the floor for PINCO items. Are there any comments from the public on PINCO items?
We don't have any comments on the PINCO items.
Okay, we'll move on. Approval of outside storage agreement with Kern Ice and Cold Storage 2023-2024. It is recommended that Board of Trustees authorize PINCO to enter into an agreement with Kern Ice and Cold Storage to provide outside frozen food storage for the 2023-2024 fiscal year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, any discussion on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. C, approval of outside storage agreement with Titan Cold Storage 2023-2024. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve an agreement between PINCO and the Titan Cold Storage to provide outside ambient dry storage for the 2023-2024 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. D, purchase order schedule, PINCO. It is recommended the Board of Trustees approve and authorize the purchases outlined on the attached schedule. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Right. 3, reconvene regular meeting. Right, this is right. 4, recognitions, reports, public comments. 4.0 recognition, virtual academy. The board will recognize the students from the virtual academy that earned a 4.0 or higher GPA. We made a mistake on this, and somehow we did not inform about 12 students for the 4.0 dinner and acknowledgement, and we're very sorry for that. But the only thing we can do is recognize our mistake and then try to fix it. And I think we've done a good job. I want to say Miss Wynn, very good job. She went out and raised $3,400. And Mr. Sanchez's group brought in 5,000, and there was 5,000 kept somewhere else. But we raised a total of $8,400. So what's great about that, we every one of our students is going to receive $700 in scholarship money. So and I'd like to go through, we have Fran Mariquin, we have Jim Voss, Nancy Smith, the Kiwanis, the AVSBA, Miss Wynn, and Mr. Meehan donating as well to come up with that $8,400. So thank you very much. Good job. I'm glad that we were able to do that for these students. Can we go ahead and bring them up? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have my professor acknowledge them.
Today we recognize 12 high school seniors from the Antelope Valley Virtual Academy who are graduating with a cumulative grade point average of 4.0 and above. Maintaining a 4.0 GPA every year in high school is an incredible accomplishment that took a lot of hard work and dedication. We are gathered here this morning to celebrate each and every one of these accomplished students. But as we all know, these students didn't do this alone. So let's give a pause and acknowledge the parents, friends, teachers, and mentors of these exceptional kids. Yes. Through your support, love, and encouragement, these students worked hard and accomplished their academic goals to be the best. So here are our students. Christian Joseph Garcia Ferrer. Landon Green.
Come up. If you are here and she calls your name, please come up.
Amanrup Kaur. Chelsea Marie Moreno. Naomi Orahel. Alexis de la Cruz Romano. Stay up here when you come up, please. Natalie Megan Ross. Gerardo de Jesus Salazar. Ariana Joyce Sanchez. Jomari Aljoni Sharp. Christopher Jeffrey Allen Stavropoulos. And Caitlin Zuniga. Thank you to all of your scholarship contributors who make it possible to distribute these scholarships, and congratulations to the class of 2023 4.0 students.
Right.
Congratulations. Sorry we dropped the ball on that. But hopefully we did. Right, B, quarterly Williams complaint report summary, April 2023 to June 2023. Ms. Williams,
No complaints were received during this time period.
all right, outstanding. And then I'll move to board office report, my report. I'm not going to report anything. I'll wait till the next meeting. Mr. Nehan, can you give us an update on our district strategic planning?
Absolutely. Since my last update to the board on April 20th, the cabinet group has met with our strategic plan facilitator, Becky Bailey Finley, twice. We met May 4th and June 21st, and we meet again next Tuesday for a full day of strategic planning work. On those last two meetings, the group dove into the topics of the values of the district. We did a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and began deeply evaluating who the district serves and what our purpose in doing so is. The products we've developed so far are all in draft form and will remain in draft form till they come before the board for final consideration. But they include a purpose statement, a revised mission statement, a revised vision statement, as well as draft core values for the district. All these will undergo further revision and refinement as we navigate this process through our various educational partners. I remain pleased with the progress that we've made thus far, and I'm excited to continue the process next Tuesday, and I'll provide an update at our next board meeting.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So at what point will board members be a part of the planning? Because what I don't want to happen in this strategic update is that we're just brought something and we as a board haven't been able to have our 2 cents, whether they're taken or not. So when does that come with the planning?
Let me help about that. Is not going to happen.
Okay.
What they're doing is just, they're getting basically the cabinet together and just outlining basics. And then I'm probably going to call a special meeting and we're going to sit down. I guess we'll have a workshop and we'll all get involved because I want every one of us to be able to have our say and what,
Right.
but they're doing the groundwork for us.
Okay.
And
So is
I'm
there-
not sure about the timeline on that, but I can tell this will be done by the time I pass the gavel off to the next president. I guarantee you.
Yeah, so yeah, the process for the first couple of meetings, we've gone deeper and it's taken a little longer, but I think that that's important to build that foundation. And like Mr. Hughes said, we're building a framework that we bring forward, but it's everything is in draft form. It's not just here, board, please approve this. We will have input from all educational partners, including the board.
Yeah, and I've instructed the superintendent to give us updates. Any meeting we have, he will give us an update on the process, and he'll be doing that throughout the month. But I want him to do an update for the general public as well.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Mr. Nehan. Any cabinet members want to weigh in and give their opinion on the process? Mr. Hawkins is going to be like, I got to pay for it. But
No, it's actually a very good process and we're taking a very deep dive looking at all of the things that Mr. Nehan was referring to and breaking them into their component parts. So when we put it back together, it's a greater understanding moving forward.
outstanding. Thank you. All right. I'll let you guys, the other people off on this one. Miss Williams, Ms. Ramos. All right. Hey, Antelope Valley Schools Transportation Report Update, Mr. Hawkins.
There is no July board meeting for AVSTA, so I don't have anything to add today.
Cool. We'll move to F, AVTA, Michael Millings. I don't see Mr. Millings out there, but I do see Miss White. You're up. I think Mr. Millings still is on vacation.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
So, Mr. President and board members, and I'm sorry to see that our student board member is probably still enjoying his vacation. And of course, Mr. Nean, Mr. Willis, and Ms. Orozco. You know, it doesn't seem possible that you have control of this. That July is almost over. Summer school is in its last final weeks, and August appears to be very anxious to be in our laps. And it's prepare, we must. That's my best wishes to our Assistant Superintendent Secretary, Lisa Potter, as she moves to the distant state of Texas. You know, Lisa has been a very powerful strength of knowledge for us in our district over the years, and she will be sorely missed. I will miss being able to reach out to her in the future. She has always been there for CSEA and our members, and she's always worked to make things happen so they could attend trainings and everything was in place for them. They didn't have to worry about anything. And we do wish her all the best in her new adventure. And it's extremely hard to say goodbye. Have been going well since school was over the first part of June is not an accurate statement in the least. And for the most part, I think between CSEA and the district, we've kept plenty busy with a multitude of situations since then that we've never experienced or had to deal with before. I'm sure that Mr. Ramos can verify that this has been an extremely active June and July. And I would say he's ready for things to calm down just as much as I am. Too much earth-shaking notations or opinions for you today. However, you do have under 6A, the MOU regarding reclassifications for 4 positions out of 11 that were presented. CSEA and your representatives totally agree, as well as our members who ratified this MOU on Friday, July the 7th. These positions are well deserving, and we do hope that you will agree. I'm glad to see that you removed 8A because this is going to make my speech a lot shorter. So thank you for that reconsideration with 8A. So since you've made my comments to you today so much shorter, which really doesn't happen very often, I will once again thank you for your attention to my comments and hope that you will enjoy the rest of your Thursday and Friday and maybe a beautiful but not too cool weekend and can relax and enjoy it. Thank you.
It's from the public on agendized items.
Yes, we have one comment.
Okay. The public is invited to address the board on any agenda item. To address an item on the agenda, speaker forms must be given to the designee before the board president announces this item. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and a total time for public input on each item shall be limited to 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotted to another speaker during public comments. The board listens to concerns and issues. The board may ask questions for purpose of clarification. The law prohibits the board from engaging into a dialogue with the public or taking actions on items not on the agenda. That doesn't preclude the board from having a discussion, though.
Vivian, 8A.
Welcome.
People, how are you? I have a question. Is this not supposed to be spoken on according to what you say, 8A? I'm not sure what, am I speaking on the
No,
right?
you can speak on 8A.
Oh, I can? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Ramos, Mr. Roscoe.
Just for clarification, it was 7A that was it 7A or
7F was pulled.
7F?
My time is still going?
Yeah, ma'am, you got more than to go on. You're fine. Can we
Okay, thank
restart
you.
your time,
Mhm,
please?
exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll restart it now.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for all my board members. I really appreciate you and how you really are on top of things. And I hope that this one doesn't turn around because, you know, as a public paying taxpayer, just because I say something when I do speak on civility, they shouldn't have the right to turn around because they don't want to deal with what they started in this business. I want to say something about Fagan, Friedman, and Fulfrost. I hope that this district does not do any type of consideration for them. For one, as a parent coming to the district and me witnessing what was done to Bob Davis, what was done as I learned about Bob Davis, but definitely for Dr. Victoria Ruffin, it is a shame that even Dr. Vieira, or I should just say that superintendent that was here, he had them under his watch with Furno when he was not even supposed to have them. You know, it's been said payments were made and he wasn't supposed to be even representing Vieira at a time that all this discrepancy with these two and the rest of them that were so doggone disrespectful to the district with the staffing. We should not have a people that we should not have attorneys that represent only the few and the few that are bad. And I mean the people that represent white supremacists. And I say that because of this. I witnessed so much stuff going on with Furno when he sat here and he would speak to Vieira and different things, how they would tag Dr. Ruffin. I don't know why they're so anxious to get back in cahoots with this district, because the things that they were doing and how it was shown that so many things were going under the watches of Dr. Vieira and certain other board members is atrocious because the money wasn't going for the kids that was needed. And he was part of that. And I don't think that that company has any reason to be here as long as they were. As I learned, as I've watched things in this district, when I was being told that, I was being coerced by Dr. Ruffin, that these members on these boards, some of these people that have been doing what they've been doing, have been doing it right in plain face to do the evil that they've done under the watches of Vieira, under the watches of certain leadership that know who they are. I feel at this time, Furno, the 3Fs, all them, they have no reason to be here. They have no reason. They've taken and sucked enough money out of this district against these kids. They've done wrong towards board members, and they've definitely done wrong to the kids and the parents of this district. So I'm hoping that whatever happens, you do not consider them. And why do we need to? Why don't we get a neutral, someone different than what's already been here? Because it's already been too much corruption as we know it to be, and it is true. It is not worth it. I hope that we can have new people come. I thought we had a new person that was here. So I hope that we could find someone else to come to this district and do us right. In light of everything that we know that's going on, we don't need that same mentality in this district to sit here and do corruption. And I'm saying, I know teachers know this stuff that goes on in here. Parents know this stuff that goes on. It's just disgusting. So I would say, do not consider them at all because they have not been right for this district. Please don't, President, and the rest of my two other ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Board members, any comments? Any discussion? I just point out that we do have new council. Oh, there's one more.
We have one.
Okay, I
more
just want
speaker.
to address it. We do have a new general counsel. He's sitting right there. We're absolutely proud of him. So, and the firm. So, next speaker, please.
Karen White on 8A.
All right, Ms. White.
I apologize because I didn't realize that it was a different figure. I thought I heard 8A. So with that, then you're going to hear the rest of my little comments.
Absolutely. We would
Okay.
love to.
So with 8A and this agreement with the 3Fs, I'm very concerned because they have been an intricate part of our negotiations over the years. And we have already started negotiations. And I do feel that any other institution has the background or the history that these people do. Besides what we have done over the years with them in negotiations with the district, just know that CSEA and negotiations with other districts also use this firm. They don't have any problems with them. And we haven't had any problems with them. They've always been upright and forward and helped not only the district understand CSEA's side, but also for CSEA to understand the district side. And I think they are a valuable component to negotiations, and they do deserve to have another contract. I do understand that you have had and put in place other organizations to represent the district, and that's good. I don't feel that it should have to be only one agency that is going to deal with a multitude of situations that the district faces on a daily basis. And it helps them also home in on a specific thing that they're working on. So with that, I just wanted to make sure that you realized where CSEA stands concerning this renewal, or whatever you want to call it, with this firm. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
That concludes our agendized items.
For non-agendized items. Are there any comments from the public for non-agendized items?
Yes, we have one.
All right. The public is invited to address the board on any matter not on the agenda that is within the jurisdiction of the board. To address an item not on the agenda, speaker forms must be given to the designee before the board president announces this item. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and the total time for public input shall be limited to 20 minutes. Only one person is permitted to stand at the podium at a time. No speaker may relinquish a time allotted to another speaker. During public comments, the board listens to concerns/issues. The board may ask questions for purposes of clarification. The law prohibits the board from entering into a dialogue with the public or taking action on items not on the agenda.
Vivian, civility policy.
Welcome again.
I really do feel welcome by you three that are here, because you know what, at least I can honestly say, looks like you really want to get the job done in this district. So I'll say it again, please do not consider pull the 3Fs at all, because you know what, when it was said that there are many things that were going on with Furno and how they were doing with him not having a contract, paying or being his own personal, Vieira's personal own attorney during a time when they said that it was not, and it's noted in records that he was not supposed to be, and he was. So to me, in my opinion, between the civility, I have a few names that I can say that I still have problems with, and that's why I'm going to keep coming, because what I witnessed between Grady, Wynn, Furno, Vieira, from James Stockdale, from Anthony Hunt, from DJ Hines, from that principal from Highland that sits over here, now Chris Grad or whatever. But I'm gonna say this, there is too much depart in this here school district. This race-related issues that are going on, and you wanting to continue to have the same people to represent you so you could promote that racism. Some of the people that are here still are still promoting that racism stuff and still wanting them to come on back. All these people should be fired. Even, hate to say it, I'm mentioning even Shannon Williams' name, only because of the simple fact that when everything went down, when we came to the district to make a complaint on civility and everything, they squashed this stuff. They squashed it fast enough before we should have went on to the public. We should have went to TV station. We should have went on to the Office of Civil Rights when it was already being said and done that we are being undermined by what we wrote, and it was being passed on to the principal and to the coaches to say what they need to say against us in the fact. But the fact of the matter is, just like the civility policy of saying kids should not be called niggas, and it's still going on today, And we done seen what happened in Winkles. We done seen what happened with the doggone woman that got socked in the face. This district and this town by great white folks and white young people, young, black, white, Spanish, everything, every color under the sea. Let me tell you, I'm represented because guess what? I'm part of all of that. And some of you are too. So I'm gonna just say it to you real quick. You need to do better about what's going on in this district with these kids, not allowing people to come in here and take monies and stuff and sit up on these boards and act like they care for these children, but they care for their pockets. They didn't care for certain members on the board. The civility policy of trying to act right and be fair to people in the public and the parents and stuff. I've heard and I've watched people laugh on this district's board, laughing at parents that come in here to get help. And guess what? They don't have no problem sleeping because you know why? They don't have kids in this district that are in school, that are sitting here going through changes, but they love to get the money off of them. So you know who you are, those main two, and the ones that also have helped promote craziness in this district. I'm just going to say, if you're part of it, even if it's teachers, if you're part of it, because trust me, I do know there are teachers that are not right in this district, and there are some that are great. And you know who you are. And if you know you're doing wrong, do right. Do right, because I'm so sick of it, but I'm going to come because I really want them two off your board, and I want anything else behind them to go as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments? Ms. Nguyen, anything? Good? Okay. Moving on. 5, Student Services, action item. 2023-2024 non-public school agency master contract STS 24-023 through STS-24-030. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve agreements for non-public, non-sectional school agency service master contracts STS 24-023 through STS 24-030, in addition to associated individual services agreements for non-public school placement as needed during the 2023-2024 school year. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. 6, personal services action items. Antelope Valley Union High School District / CSEA collective bargaining MOU regarding reclassification. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the agreement with CSEA as presented. May I have a motion? Second,
Second.
any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Ms. White, you got it. All right. B, 2023-2024 designation of CIF representatives to league. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the 2023-2024 designation of CIF representatives to league. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Right, C, approval of provisional internship permit, PIP. We will go 6C through 6D. If that's okay for the board. Good, Ms. Nguyen, good, okay. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and direct the Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources to submit a provisional internship permit, allowing the individuals to teach in the subjective areas indicated. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Moving on to E. Approval of variable term waiver, VTW. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and direct the Assistant Superintendent, Human Resources to submit a variable term waiver allowing the individuals to work in an administrative assignment as indicated. May I have a motion? Second. All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. F, approval of short-term staff permit, STSP. We're gonna do items 6F to 6M, if it's okay with the board. All good, good. This one, okay. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve and direct the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources to submit a short-term staff permit, allowing these individuals to teach in the subject area indicated. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. G, we got G out of everybody. All the way through M, right? All right. Thank you, thank you. We will move into 7A. Adopt Resolution 2023-24-01, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Antelope Valley Union High School District approving assignment of delinquent tax receivables to the California Statewide Delinquent Tax Finance Authority for the fiscal years ending June 30th in each of the years 2023 through 2025, and authorize execution and delivery of related documents and actions. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve resolution number 2023-24-01, approving the assignment of delinquent tax receivables to the California Statewide Delinquent Tax Finance Authority for fiscal years ending June 30th, 2023, 2024, and 2025 as presented. May I have a motion? Second,
Second.
any discussion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. B, resolution number 2023-24-02, approval of the emergency resolution to waive the public bidding requirement for change order number one with Western Pacific Roofing, additional labor and materials to small gym re-roof at Quartz Hill High School in the amount of $28,418. Note, change order number one exceeds the 10% of the original contract amount. It is recommended the Board of Trustees unanimously approve emergency resolution 2023-24-02 to comply with the California Public Contract Code 20113A and 20118.4 and waive the bidding requirement process for change order number one. May I have a motion? Second,
Second.
any discussion with that? Any questions? Okay. Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. C, approval of professional service contract, Total Compensation Systems, Inc. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve Total Compensation Systems, Inc. to prepare an actual study as required by GASB 74/75 and authorize Brian Hawkins to execute the contract on behalf of the district. May I have a motion? Second,
Second.
any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. D, resolution of an acceptance of notice of completion bid number 8/22-23- district office parking lot crack fill slurry coat and restripe. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the attached resolution of acceptance and notice of completion for bid number 8/22-23 district office parking lot crack fill slurry coat and restripe at the AVUHSD district office and authorize Assistant Superintendent Brian Hawkins to cause it to be recorded with the County of Los Angeles. May I have a motion? Second,
Second.
all those in favor say, discussion? Seeing none? All right, try to move quick. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. E, bid 11/22-23 Lancaster High School Composite Lab. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the attached agreement with Stevens Constructions, Inc. and authorize Brian Hawkins as authorized agent to execute the contract on behalf of the district. May I have a motion? Second,
Second.
discussion?
I'd just like to comment that I'm very excited for our students at Lancaster High School. Our composite lab at Night High has been so successful. And so it offers so many opportunities for our students there.
Absolutely. We have 30 years of jobs out here in the aerospace industry for these kids to get into and follow their dreams and build aircraft. So I think it's great. Just one question, Greg, Mr. Nehan. Under our community workforce agreement, this was done prior to our agreement, correct?
That's correct. The bid was opened, closed, and bid before we entered into the community workforce agreement.
But if this was coming out, this would be a type of job that we would.
It would likely fall under the community workforce agreement, yeah.
Outstanding. I want to put our people to work. All right. Any other discussion?
No, thank you.
I just wanted to add also, when I was talking to Mr. Nehan about just trying to understand this a little more, he mentioned that our composite labs, one of the only in the state, did you say? The nation? No.
It may be the only one in a high school in the nation. So it'll be
Yeah.
now the only two in high schools in the
Right.
nation.
I just feel like that's such an amazing opportunity for our students and I'm glad we're continuing to build, but also let's highlight that.
Yeah, outstanding. And give a shout out to Mr. Stockdale. He does a great job over there. So I have to do that.
Okay.
He's really good at that.
Mhm.
He's going to keep doing that. So it's good. All right. All those, no other discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Change order number 1 bid, number 122
Mr. President, this item was pulled, 7F.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yep, that's withdrew. I was over here laughing a little bit. Carla made me laugh. All right, we'll get to 8. 8, administrative service action items. Consideration of the agreement for legal services with Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost LLP. It is recommended that the board consider the agreement for legal services with Fagan, Friedman, and Full Frost LLP. Can I get a motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. I'll go to you, Ms. McGrady.
Sure. I kind of made some notes, so excuse me for reading a little bit or.
You got all day, ma'am.
Thank you. It's not that long, I promise. We've had a lengthy, successful relationship with them. We've worked with them for over 20 years. They've demonstrated their commitment to our district and expertise in handling our legal affairs. In January, we approved a new contract for legal services and indicating our confidence. And in this last 6 months, as far as I'm aware, there have been no issues or concerns regarding their performance or quality of services. Switching to legal counsel with as far as negotiations is concerned would disrupt the ongoing matters and require additional resources to bring the new counsel up to date. They possess institutional knowledge of our district, which contributes to the efficiency and effectiveness of their service. They've garnered support and trust from both unions with our district. And I think that's, I'm sure that other firms could as well. It would just take time to bring them up to speed. I am not sure, given the effectiveness of their service, why we would not renew their contract. And I guess that's pretty much what I needed to say. That I think it's important that the 5 of us have the opportunity to say what we want and how we prefer to move forward.
Yep. And the thing about how the process works, just for the record, I pulled that off the agenda last meeting. And the reason I did that is I have the ability as the president to set the agenda. However, I think I said it really early as a president, you represent 20% of this district. Ms. Nguyen has 20%. We all have 20%. And I'd be remiss if I didn't allow you to put it back on the agenda for consideration. I'm going to allow you to do that.
Thank you.
I'll get to my comments in just a second. Ms. Nguyen.
Actually, Ms. McGrady made most of the comments that I had written down. I've had the opportunity to work with Fagan, Friedman, Full Frost since they started with the district over 20 years ago. And I have not seen I haven't seen them do anything that they legally cannot do. I felt that they've always represented the district well. I talked to a few other districts because I wanted to get opinions from other people, and almost all of the districts in the valley work with Fagan, Friedman, Full Frost, and they all have said that they have a positive working relationship with them as well. And you know, my personal attorney I've worked with for over 20 years, can't even imagine changing attorneys. And I think it's the way I feel with Fagan, Friedman, Full Frost. I feel like they've done a good job. I feel like they represented the district and our unions well. I feel like they have a positive working relationship with our 2 unions, and that says a lot, I think. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'll jump in here. I'm shocked from both your comments saying that neither one of you guys has seen anything from these attorneys. I'm just going to give one example. All 5 of us, and I can't say where, I can't get too deep in it. We sat there and watched an F3 attorney disrespect a parent in front of us, an African-American parent in front of us. I may have not agreed with that lady. I think it ended up maybe, but I didn't. she has a right. That's a mama bear. She's fighting for her kid. She was fighting. And I sit there and I watch, along with you guys, her get disrespected by an F3 attorney. And if you remember the history when we called for the new attorneys, because us new majority here, we sat in that audience, we watched F3, and I know a whole bunch of stuff prior, but I just gonna keep this to what I personally observed. Absolutely terrible. No attorney will represent me disrespecting one of our parents. Now, what I'm gonna do is I probably have 10 or 15 reasons I can go, but I think Ms. White brought up a good point. Mr. Millings is not here. I want to hear from more teachers, so I'm going to make a substitute motion. And I'm going to motion that we table this issue till a future meeting. If I can get a second on that.
Second.
All right. Any discussion on my substitute motion? No. All right.
I just want to agree definitely that we need to have, when we have more of our seats filled, have the teachers have an opportunity. They are on their summer break. And so let's hear from them.
Yeah, Mr. Millings, I think Mr. Millings got to weigh in on this is if he has the same view as Ms. White. I want to make sure I hear from him, and I definitely want to hear from some more parents. So any other discussion?
No, thank you.
All right.
I just need.
All right. All those in favor of the substitute motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so move.
So, President, I think procedurally, you would just table the original motion. There's no necessarily action on the substitute motion,
Okay.
because you want the ability to bring back the vote as it relates to the agreement.
That's why I have this council.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what would I do? Just table?
You're just tabling this particular action item until a future meeting.
Okay, I'm going to table it then. And I have the authority as a president to do that. So I will table this motion. But I'm glad I got a consensus of our board as well. All right. Let's move on to 9. Approve items listed in the following consent agenda: categories: educational services, student services, personnel services, business services, and administrative services. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are items consistent with adopting policies, improved practices of the district, and are deemed routine in nature. The board will be asked to approve all the items in the consent agenda by a single vote, unless any member of the board asks that an item be removed from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. It is recommended that the Board of Trustees approve the items listed in the following consent agenda: educational services, student services, personal services, business services, and administrative services as presented. If anybody have anything they want to pull, yep,
13A, please.
13A.
Just for discussion only.
Discussion. All right. Anything else, Ms. Wynn?
No, no.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Corona?
Yes, 10A, 10B, 10E, 13M.
Discussion and vote, or just discussion?
Discussion.
Okay.
I'm sorry, would you give those one more time? 10A, 10B?
10A, 10B, 10E, 13M.
Thank you.
Did you say D as well? All right.
No,
10B.
10A, 10B is in boy, 10E, 13M, like Mary.
Perfect. All right. Mr. Sanchez, anything?
Nothing.
Ms. Meridian, anything? Okay. We'll go to 13A real quick. Well, let me get a motion. Can I get motion and then get in discussion? So I need a motion with the following excluded for discussion: 13A, 10A, 10B, 10D, and 13M. May I get a motion?
So move.
Second?
Second.
We'll go into discussion. Ms. Nguyen, 13A.
13A is business services donations, and I always want to make sure that the people who help our students and donate understand how much we appreciate those donations. They do that out of the kindness of their hearts, and it's much appreciated. Thank you.
All right. And we got some pretty large donations. I think the Friends of the Fair did real well for us. Yeah, like, was that 13 grand or something, if I read it right?
I have a question. So do people or organizations get to donate where they want the money to go, or do we get to pick where the money goes?
Mr. Hawkins?
How does that work?
The donator can designate. So for example, the very first item here by Ada Martinez, $292, is designated for the foreign language department at AV High School. So Therefore, that $292 would be donated to them, and we would track it internally, business-wise, to see that it was spent from that location.
Okay, and how does that fall in with the sports? Does that just go to the athletic director and it's for whoever, or can they designate it for a specific team?
They could designate it for a specific team, like the baseball or basketball team at a specific high school. It could go for whatever items. A lot of times they'll do that for entry fees into tournaments or for travel costs to special tournaments, things like that.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay. 10A.
Okay, so 10A, so this is the annual Title I LEA plan eval. So just for some ideas, and I met with Mr. Nian yesterday, and I had a lot of questions, but I do want us as a board, what?
I said so rare.
Oh, I do want us as a board to make sure we're really focusing in on some of the evals here. And overall, the graphs are a little sad to read as far as chronic absenteeism. That's one example. I'm not going to list them all, but chronic absenteeism is very high, and it's the majority of the students that are in the evaluation. So again, I would just ask and wonder, what are the factors that kids have that they don't want to come to school? What is it? And how does it relate with the surveys that we've seen in previous board meetings? Is it they don't feel safe? They don't like a teacher? Is it the material? Whatever the case may be, but just something for us to be mindful about as we go through all of this. The suspension rates, I'm not going to mention that because that was also noted in another report, and we're focusing on that moving forward. ELA and the math, which we all know and clear, and I think all of us too, we have to work on that. And again, I'm just stating this so that we keep it in our minds and rise it to the top of a priority, because I do think it is. The other mention of 10A that I wanted to just say is there was a college ready graph looking at the percentages, and this is the A through G, my understanding. Under 40% of those kids are actually college ready. So what are we doing to get them there, if that is indeed their desire? Because I know not everyone is college bound. But again, just as we look at these numbers, just really being intentional about what we do moving forward. So I just wanted to call that out. Thank you.
In our appointment to self, is that in closed session or open session? Yeah, it's in this right here, right?
That's done. That was in consent.
All right. So, anybody else? Okay, we're good? All right.
That was just 10A. Ms. Corona has a few more.
No, that's it for 10A, but I still have, oh, okay.
The floor is yours.
Oh, so 10B, the strengthening CTE, the Perkins application. This is, oh, okay, I'll just go through them all.
Let me know when I can.
Okay, again, I just want to call this out to my fellow board, but also let the district know, and Mr. Nehan knows the importance of my goal and hope with arts education. And so looking at the CTE pathway, I'm really pushing Mr. Nehan to explore AME areas, how the VAPA world and the AME world are working together when it comes to CTE. Really looking more into dual enrollment. I'm really excited for the VAPA coordinator that we approved a couple months ago. I'm hoping that that person comes, and I think and believe and hope they'll be integral in building the bridge here. The other thing I wanted to just call out to the board and just remind you in case you didn't, I really want us to move to a culture shift of STEAM, and I don't want to say it like that, not STEM, and I understand the importance, and there is proponents, there's opponents. However, while I sit here on this board, Mr. Nehan knows very clearly the importance of a STEAM culture moving forward, especially with the AMIM monies, Prop 28 monies coming. So that is going to be one of the priorities here. Okay, that was 10B, or excuse me, 10E. 13M, 13M as in Mary. So I do want us to, okay, this is the annual approval of routine student trips for 2023-2024 school year. And I'm not sure then, Mr. Nehan, if this is a discussion and a vote, or, because I'm not sure what info you got. Should I just make my comments first and then decide?
You can make your comments and we can pull this to be brought back. I did discuss it with a couple
Okay.
cabinet members. We can pull this and bring it back amended to either meet with the description or change the description to meet with the list.
I mean, we can discuss it first because I don't,
Want me to just pull it, then you can have a discussion.
yeah, let's do that.
So I'll go ahead and pull, was it 13M?
13M is pulled, okay?
And then we're going to place that back on the next meeting agenda after having discussions with Ms. Corona and her concerns. Okay, perfect. Other than that, anything else? All right, no more discussion. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Mr. Nehan, I need to jump back to 8A real quick. According to the letter, F3 is no longer providing services to the district, correct? At this time.
They were no longer under contract as of June 30th. There were a few items that were being wrapped up that had been going on since second semester of last year that I believe they're all finalized, but there were a few items that needed to be wrapped up and transferred over.
We're still paying. We will come back with a PO later on and pay those services, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and in regards to, I want to address Ms. White's concern real quick. In concern with, I think it's Furno, is he still in our negotiations?
We have not met for negotiation since the end of that contract, and have a future date scheduled for the end of August with AVTA and have yet to set a date at this time with
Has Mr.
CSEA.
Furno kind of like his letter saying that he's like taking his ball and going home, or is he going to participate in that? Do we know?
At this point, there's no plans. Without a contract, there's no plans moving forward
Great.
to bring him in.
Okay.
That would
so-
depend on action by the board at the next meeting.
Perfect. So let me go ahead and get some direction with consent of the board. We don't want to be left without an attorney. Mr. Jabbar, can you provide us with some attorneys for the district if needed for negotiations? You guys-
Absolutely.
I think. Are you okay with that direction, Mr. Nehan?
Yeah, Jabari and I have discussed that already.
Perfect. Thank you. See, that's, I got outstanding counsel and outstanding superintendent. I don't have to worry about anything. Thank you. All right. Now we're moving to consent agenda category administrative services. Approved minutes of regular board meeting and PINCO meeting held on June 9th, 2023.
Mr. President, that has already been
We already
covered
did it,
under
right?
consent.
All right, so I'll go from the board superintendent, Mr. Nehan, you're up.
No comments today. Thank you.
Okay. I'll start with you, Ms. Grady.
Oh, thank you. Hope everyone's having a lovely summer. It's nice and warm the last few days. Just on a personal note, because I've had so many people asking me, I want to thank you for your prayers and your thoughts for my husband. He has completed radiation and chemo, and now we're just trying to get him back, get his strength back. So I thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you.
Ms. Nguyen.
Yes, I feel the need to respond to the slanderous remarks made against me. I'm trying to figure out when I ever received money. I've been involved in education for 30 years. I have never received money that I didn't either have a receipt for or that I didn't earn. But I do have receipts for all of the money I've spent. So probably, Well, it's in the thousands anyway. So I'm trying to figure out where that whole remark about me taking money, I'm not sure, and laughing. I don't laugh at anybody, not anybody. So I'm trying to figure out where that remark came from as well. Evil, corruption, those are all words that are not in my vocabulary because that's not how I operate. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Sanchez.
Yeah, so just wanted to say, Saturday, I guess we're gonna have a fair for work, right? Ms. Ramos?
We're hosting a classified job fair for some of our positions in CSEA and looking to bring on several new candidates to start the school year.
Awesome. Yeah, so whoever's watching the YouTube, just wanted to get that out there. So also, if anybody's interested, Saturday at 9 a.m., it's gonna be a scrimmage, a baseball game, Little Rock High School versus Palmdale High. So I'll be there a little bit and I'll be also at the fair. So I'll be busy that morning.
Mr. Sanchez, can you repeat the time
It's at 9 a.m.
at Little Rock High School?
It'll be at Palmdale High.
Palmdale High School. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So it'll be good. And then plus we got a new coach there, really good coach that has been serving in our community, Mr. Bill Black. So he's a good guy. Yeah, that's about it, man.
Okay.
Mhm.
Ms. Corona.
I just wanted to say thank you all for coming today and for those watching at home, listening at home. Just my one comment that I noticed since the last time we met was the fireworks stands and how I saw Highland High School, Palmdale, those sorts of things. And trust me, I understand the importance of fundraising and learning those skills. But there were also some desperate pleas I was seeing on Facebook and among others. So Mr. Nehan, and I meant to bring this up yesterday, apologies, but I would like to know more info on the fundraising with fireworks, because that to me feels like, why are we doing it? We have money. and I mean, there probably is other policies and ASB, that kind of thing. But maybe there could be a different approach, or the district could match whatever they raise, or just something like that. Because when I see desperate calls for, please come to my fireworks stand, when I have my own thoughts on fireworks in the 110-degree heat, it just hurts my heart a little to see the band and the choral and football and let's get help, it's. So if you can find some info on that, and I just wanted to comment on that.
We can provide more information on
Okay.
fundraising.
That'd be great.
And one of the good things is the Friends of the Fair, I wouldn't say, maybe I misspoke, donating. They actually paid our kids to perform. If you can kind of explain didn't they perform at the Poppy Festival, or one of our?
Yeah, there's a number of opportunities for our arts, our performing arts, to attend, perform, and then receive a stipend or some kind of remuneration towards their organization. So
Yeah.
fundraising is an important part of the education process and
Yes.
working and earning the right for certain things.
For sure. And I'm not diminishing that by any, I mean, I'm a grant writer. I write for money, that sort of thing. But I'm just curious of if there are other ways and I know our local theaters are also begging, Mrs. McGrady knows this, the firework but it's when we see that money's coming in, we just got this AMIM grant for arts. I mean, what are they raising money for if we're trying to give them money? So there's that. And then thank you. That's it. Have a great afternoon.
I'm just gonna, I'm pretty excited. I see a lot of work being done at the FFA sites. Mr. Hawkins, thank you for all you've been doing there. And I know that we have I think next month we'll have a pretty large PO on the agenda, is my understanding. Are we having I got a blank look there. Okay, I'll address that later.
This would be for the billet.
Already created two POs, but the third one, we got to hold because it exceeds our bid limits. So we're going to hold on to that one for right now.
And that's the one out of Palmdale, right? Palmdale. I know AV, Little Rock, they're up and running, very happy. They're seeing posts go in. It's great. So, okay, great. Other than that, I think we need to go into closed session. Everybody have their say. Anybody else? Ms. Williams, anything? Okay, all right. We were gonna go into closed section and then we'll report back out. Great. Reconvene. Item 16C, during closed session, the board considered an employee appointment titled vice principals. By a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve the appointment of Alan Gonzalez to vice principal. Item 16D, may I please have a motion to approve administrative hearing panel recommendations for student expulsions and to order as presented the expulsions of 7 students. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Item 16E, during closed session, the board considered settlement and release agreement STS 24022OAH case number 2023060038. By a vote of 5-0, the board took action to approve the settlement and release agreement. And that concludes our report from closed session. I'll go ahead and make a motion for adjournment. Second,
Second.
all those, and any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Seeing none, so moved. Right, so we're